Okay, welcome back. During the break, I was asked a question I think is an important one, but it's a complicated one. So it was asked, how do you make adjustments to the body during these types of meditation? If you're doing full body meditation, or what I'm going to call opening the tactile sense gate in the upcoming portion on the on Foundation 4, rather. What I'm going to be calling opening the tactile sense gate or full body meditation is basically you can think about making your mind like a mirror. You're observing everything that's happening here, but the mirror doesn't do anything. So it doesn't matter what appears over here, the mirror is just going to reflect whatever appears in the mirror. And it doesn't, when you look in the mirror in the morning, the mirror doesn't, change your hairstyle. It doesn't brush your teeth for you. The mirror doesn't do anything except for reflect whatever is there. So, in a sense, you're pulling back into a state of observation, and it doesn't matter what occurs in the field of observation. So, when you're doing full body meditation, the mind, or when you have opened the tactile sense gate, or when you have become aware and are meditating upon the full tactile sense sphere, you can describe it in any of these ways. The mind should pull back and become like a mirror. So at that time, you don't make any adjustments. The body may adjust itself, and you can be aware of the body adjusting itself, but you shouldn't deliberately do anything. If you notice that you have done something, you've lost the object of meditation. Because the object of meditation in this case is that you are pulling the mind back to be in a state of simple observation of whatever occurs in the tactile sense field. Anything that happens instead of that, you have lost the object of meditation. Okay? So that's part of the answer. And then how do you make adjustments if you're doing body scanning? Body scanning, I actually yeah. So it was asked in the questions, if we're standing and our body starts to tremble a bit, do we just sort of leave that alone? Yes, you leave that alone. You don't need to make any adjustments. Just continue to observe. Now, here's the mirror, and the body is shaking, right? The mirror doesn't care. If you looked in the mirror in the bathroom and you were shaking, the mirror just reflects what's in the mirror. So your mind is pulling back and observing everything that's happening, and it doesn't matter what happens in that reflection. Okay? So your mind's becoming an observer to the situation. So alternatively, what I really do like to use body scanning for, because we're trying to make the mind more calm, is you can also release as you go through. And release is a word that's used by a couple of my Tai Chi and internal martial arts instructors that's quite precise, actually. So, for example, if I'm holding my palm really tightly, right? If I'm really clenched, if I relax, my hand goes limp, right? That's relaxed. It's totally relaxed. Okay? Now, if my hand is really tense and I release just the extra tension, but keep the shape, keep the structure that it's in, now there's no extra tension. See? I can move everything, but if I pull the finger down and let it go, it goes back to the position it was in. So there's no extra tension in the posture, but I haven't become a wet noodle. So as you go through your posture, we've set the posture up in a certain way, right? The back of the skull is up. We're not dropping the chest. We're not rolling the back, the lower back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the body is actually in a particular posture. So as you go through with your body scan, you can release any tension or or muscular contraction that doesn't need to be there, but don't turn into a wet noodle. And in the same way, if some element of your body becomes so painful that you're no longer doing the practice because you're just going, this sucks, then you could pause the practice, go into the part of your body that's uncomfortable, and just place your mind in there and see if you can get whatever is wrong to release. And if you need to slowly adjust or do a short massage of the area, and just try to get the pain down to a manageable level, especially if you have chronic injury or something. And then you go back to full-on practice. But when you make your adjustments within a frame of mind that is still, just for example, so right now the top right-hand side of my shoulder here has extra tension, right? So if I was in the midst of a hardcore session and I couldn't get it to release, I may do this, for example. So I'm just putting my hand here so you can see better what I'm doing, but I probably wouldn't bring my hand up. So I may do this, right? And now the shoulder doesn't have that tension, and I can resume the practice. So it's like one of my teachers said, you can think about your concentration being on a sliding scale, from 10 being the best you can do all the way down to one being the worst. And if you're becoming so distracted by some pain, don't come all the way out to a 1 and go, right? Come out to like a 5 and make the adjustment with as much concentration and awareness as you can, and then come right back up to 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever level of concentration you can. You see? Then you're working with yourself skillfully, because in reality, if you want to sit for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, you're going to make adjustments to your body. You are. Yeah. And the better you get at making adjustments, the smaller they will be. I'm actually, if you go back and watch some of the videos, you'll see me make little tiny adjustments. But a lot of times my adjustments are so small you can't see them on the outside. Okay, so let's get back into practice. We're going to start seated. So since we're gearing up to do some hardcore walking, we're going to do this session 100% seated, getting the mind back into the body, getting the mind to be aware of as much of the body as we can. Then we'll take a little break, maybe do that one more time just to charge the system up. And then when we get to the third session of the evening, fourth session, fifth session, then we'll really dive in and try to harvest the work that we're going to do in these first 2 sessions, if I may. So set your posture. Let's start with the body scan. Actually, let's start with intensive breath meditation. So breathe in. Find an intense patch of sensation inside the nostril and do a few breaths. All right, bring the mind to the right toes, pad of the foot, arch and top of the foot. the heel, into the ankle, bottom half of the calf, middle of the calf, the upper part of the calf, into the knee, lower thigh, upper thigh, inside the hip, the right hand side. Now bring your awareness from the inside of the hip and stretch it to fill your entire right leg. Move your mind to your left toes. Left ball of your foot. Left arch and top of your foot. Heel. Ankle. First half of your calf. Upper half of your left calf. Inside your left knee. Lower thigh. Upper thigh. And inside the hip. Now stretch your awareness from inside the left hip joint down to the toes of the left foot. Fill the whole left leg with awareness. The front of your pelvis. And the back of your pelvis. Find your tailbone. Anus. Perineum. Sexual organs. Now let your awareness fill the entire pelvic region. Now the waist belt, the diaphragm belt, and the chest belt. Move your awareness into the front of the left shoulder, the side, the back, the top, and the armpit. Into the bicep area. Let your mind enter the left elbow, into the forearm, the wrist, the hand and back of the palm, thumb, pointer, middle, ring, pinky. Now connect with all of your fingertips and your nail beds or fingernails, and stretch your awareness, filling the whole arm back up to the shoulder. So just become aware of the whole arm. Move to the right shoulder now, front of the right shoulder, side, the back of the right shoulder, the top of the right shoulder, and the armpit. Move to the bicep. Let your mind completely enter the elbow, the right forearm, the wrist, palm and back of the hand, thumb, pointer, middle, ring, pinky. Place your awareness in your fingertips and nail beds. Stretch your awareness back up to the right shoulder and become aware of the entire right arm. Now bring your awareness to the first third of the neck. The second third of the neck. And the final third of the neck. Enter the joint between the neck and the skull. Become aware now of the back of your scalp. The right side of your scalp. The left side of your scalp. And move to your left ear. Forehead. Your right ear. Move to your right eyebrow. Your right eye. Right nostril. Left nostril. Left eye. Left eyebrow. Slide down to your left cheek. Right cheek. The skin above your upper lip. And now your top lip. Your bottom lip. And your chin. Move to the skin behind your lips on the inside of your mouth. Now the skin inside your left cheek. Inside your right cheek. Roof of your mouth. The area below your tongue. Now scan your teeth. Bring your mind into your tongue. And your throat. Now bring the mind up to the top of the scalp. Find the most sensitive point on the top of the scalp with the most sensations. Maintaining that point, stretch your awareness down and include your left fingertips. Maintaining those 2 points, stretch your awareness to the right fingertips. Maintaining those 3 points, stretch your awareness to the left toe tips. Maintaining that awareness, stretch your awareness to the right toe tips. Now you should have your awareness stretched between the 5 extreme points of the body, the crown of the head, the fingertips on both hands, and the toe tips of both feet. Maintain that awareness. Like a mirror, simply reflect those 5 points without moving, without adjusting. Okay, now very slowly transition out of this more intense, concentrated state. Just open your eyes, breathe into the lower belly, but don't move too quickly. Okay, do we have questions before the break? As usual, we will resume in half an hour. So that will be 4 o'clock London time. I know there's a bit of an audio video delay, so let me see if any questions come through the chat. Okay, it looks like no questions are coming through the chat. So we'll pick it up at 4 o'clock, especially as we get into these evening sessions where you've already been working quite hard all day in terms of meditation. Try to have less distracting activity in between. You may already have no distracting activity in between, which is fantastic, but if you do have some distracting activities in between, at least for the next, we only have about 3 hours, I think, to go. So really do your best to keep that to an absolute minimum for the next 3 hours. And we'll try to get the concentration to be as deep as we can while also extending it up off the cushion. So I would recommend you can do more walking practice in between if you'd like, or I wouldn't do too much reading. You can sit and just kind of look at nature, but keep your mind very relaxed and try not to move your body too much unless you're doing very slow kinds of movements to get rid of tension in the body. Okay. See you at 4 o'clock.